Fragile. I saw it and I was like, oh, I have to say Fragile Anderson. I don't have to, but I would be doing a disservice to myself if I didn't say Fragile. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail, you know what this is. For posterity, it's the Wednesday after the record was released, which is, why can't I get it the day it comes out? You can mail it. It's not like it just materializes on the day. Okay, complaint out of the way. Let's get this thing out. I bought some special edition, blah, blah, blah. I've already heard the record a couple of times at this point. So, oh, it comes with double. Okay, so the lyric sheet, it does not have the lyrics to Ride the Lightning on it. It just says written by Mustaine, Hetfield, Ulrich, and Burton. So this, remember, you got to hold the record by the edges, otherwise Henry Rollins comes out of the ceiling and beats you with a microphone that's worn out heavily. So this is the orange vinyl. This is the entire record. Yeah, the entire record. No, this is not the entire record. This is just part. This is side C and D. Okay. You can tell my record handling is rusty. I haven't listened to a record in a little while. I need to listen to a record again. I mean, 99% of the time I'm listening on my phone. I mean, it's just convenience. So that's weird. Okay, there's two of them. Maybe it's the same thing and they just put two in. So big book. It's all the songs. Let There Be Shred, and this is on the first full page. That's really nice. Yeah, it's all of the songs. So I don't care with Vic. Give him a finger. Yeah. Okay. So that Puppet Mass or Puppet something or I forget what is it called. Puppet something. I'm still familiarizing myself with the record. When I was younger, that would be the thing. It'd be like, okay, there's a new Megadeth record. We're to listen to it front to back every day for the next couple of weeks. I just hadn't had time to do that yet. And it's only been a few days. So that's that book. I think they just gave me 2 books. Okay, that's fine. I don't think there's anything special. I was like, no. Because I didn't buy like a signed copy or anything like that. That's just not my thing. Okay, so this is the other sleeve for the other record. It's fine. So this is the big sleeve for the whole thing. It's a gatefold with a really nice picture in there. That's interesting. I have not seen that one before. So it's like Vic standing over maybe Los Angeles getting nuked. That's interesting. And of course, Vic starting to spontaneously combust, and then Vic completely burned out and burned up. So the reason I bought this was that it came with this. That's weird. So they only gave me the vinyl. Maybe they mispacked my thing. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I don't care. So again, try to handle this with care. There's a record in here. It's the size of 2 records. I don't know how well I'll be able to get that on camera. Probably not. But it's the size of, if you look at it edge on, it looks like there's 2 records stuck to each other. There's not. So I think what they did is that side A and B are the collector vinyl, which It's cold outside, and where this came from, like there's a giant storm that passed through. This came from Kansas City. So Kansas City's very cold. Again, don't want Henry Rollins to come beat me up. It's thick. It's like double. Like, if you didn't know any better, you think there's two records stuck together, but they're sealed so that way this goo, this blood, will move around. So that's cool. And it's a functional record because this is side A and B. So, Tipping Point, I Don't Care, Hey God, Let There Be Shred, Puppet Parade is the name of that song. Puppet Parade and Another Bad Day are on this side, and then the other record is orange vinyl, and that's C and D. So yeah, all right. It just looks like oil, like two different colored oils. I'm assuming it's nicely sealed. I've seen other things where they'll put like a fake blood in it, and then over time it just evaporates or it dries out. So I wonder how in 5 years what it'll do. But as for now, it's active, it's gooey, it's nice bloody, blood looking thing. I don't know. I'm assuming it's just some sort of a oil with a low viscosity so it'll move fast. So yeah, new Megadeth. Let's do this real quick. So that's the review of this, the review, that's unboxing. I think it's cool. That's a review. There you go. Let me put this back in. Let me look at the. So I was listening to this record this morning again. Tipping Point. I think it's interesting that how they just led this. They put this first single out and it was Tipping Point. It was just relatively fast. It's fast for like most heavy metal. It's not Megadeth fast, like old Megadeth fast, but it's fast. It's a good song. I Don't Care. It's very punk, and a lot of people didn't like it for whatever reason. Oh, it's this and that. It's like you've never heard a Megadeth record before. They always do stuff like that. And up until Mustaine went all Christian, they would play Anarchy in the UK. I saw them play Anarchy in the UK like I saw Megadeth play like what 12, 13 times, something like that. Not a lot, but it's, a decent amount. And they always played Anarchy in the UK up till after he had his accident, and then they came back, and then he didn't do that anymore. So whatever. Hey God's an okay song. It's a mid-range song. Let There Be Shred is kind of a fun song. I was born with a guitar in my hand or whatever. Puppet Parade sounds like a lot like it's like a not Cryptic Writings, Countdown to Extinction era feel to it. Another Bad Day's okay. It like the first side A, mostly side A and B are kind of where the bangers are. Obey the Call was pretty good. Like Obey the Call, I can't even remember Obey the Call. I've heard it like 2 or 3 times now, and I can't remember it. I Am War, I think is like sounds sort of like late 90s Megadeth. It does kind of take a walk down memory lane type of feel as far as the way the record goes. I Am War kind of feels like mid-range, like Countdown to Extinction, Cryptic Writings, even a little bit of the Euthanasia, maybe, kind of a vibe to it. The Last Note, of course, is the last Megadeth song on the record, on the official record, whatever you want to call this. But I thought it was really nice. It was just, it kind of glides in. He's saying goodbye, and then it speeds up a little bit, and then it ends with acoustic again, and he's just saying, this is the last note, bye, which I thought was nice. And then everybody wants to make their nut on, oh, I'm going to talk about, blah blah blah, and it's like you've been listening to them. I've been listening to the like metal for like 40 30 something years now. So like all of the whole Mustaine Metallica thing, I don't know. They're probably more tired of it than I am, but I'm definitely tired of it. It's like, okay, they're there, they exist. Metallica never, Megadeth. Dave Mustaine is still trying to make the plea for it, but Metallica never took Megadeth on tour. They played one-off shows with the Big Four. They never took Slayer on tour. Slayer is one of the biggest bands, one of the strongest bands, and I think that's why Metallica's too scared to have them be upstaged by Megadeth and by Metallica. Because like when Metallica put out the Black Album, the big box set, they had all of these non-metal bands play Metallica songs because there was like, it's a celebration. These are unorthodox, la la. Nice. It was nicely done. Not any, nobody talks about it anymore because it wasn't that interesting. The only reason they didn't choose heavy metal bands was because they would have had to have Megadeth on there. Imagine Megadeth playing, Sad But True or Holier Than Thou. It would be crushing. And they don't want that. They don't want to be upstaged because they can be upstaged still. Metallica is an incredible band. I've paid a lot of money over the last year to see them and buy records and buy whatever. But Megadeth overall is a better musical band. These are stronger guitarists. I know that it's the Dave Mustaine show. You can't deny that. It's Megadeth, i.e. Dave Mustaine, and whoever he hired gun he has on tour for that cycle. Because that's the way it's been. I thought Kiko would make the run. Kiko was one of the better guitarists. I keep wanting to call him Timu, and I'm pretty sure that's not his name. I just see his name, and I'm like, oh, Timu. It's Timu, Temu. I've seen enough guitars. I got to see the Rust in Peace era with Cryptic Writings, Risk. Was it 13? But I saw the Rust in Peace era Megadeth with Menza and Ellefson and Friedman a few times. I got to see that. Not in the Rust in Peace era. I was still too young for that, but I did get to see them live. And then every other time, it's like, who's playing guitar now? Who's that guy? Who's playing bass? Oh, the drummer. Oh, the drummer's slow. The drummer they had for the Rust in Peace stuff, I always felt he was slow and just behind the beat. But behind the beat in not a good way. Megadeth needs to be on the beat. You can't kind of lay back on a Megadeth song. Maybe you can, but it doesn't sound right. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. I think this is a good record. I don't know I thought Dystopia was probably their best record since Rust in Peace. I think Metallica doesn't have the guts to take a heavy metal band. It's amazing that they're taking Gojira, but they're doing it in Europe. They're not doing it here. Here they played with Pantera. I saw them with Pantera and ST played. ST's a nice band, but that whatever that version of Terra was, it was mediocre. I got to see Dime and Vince for real 5 times, so I don't see any of that. I see that as like, the second Vince died, Phil's on the money again. Amazingly, all of a sudden he's okay with playing Pantera again. Yeah, we know why. He's a coward, just like Metallica. I see Metallica, and I'm like, you guys, anybody you say let's go on tour is gonna go. They're not gonna say no to you. And if you don't take Megadeth, it just shows that you don't want to be upstaged. Because Megadeth is a stronger band because the guys, 3 out of the 4 guys are like half their age, right? So of course Timu can shred like nobody's business. He's a younger guy, and Dirk is a great drummer. Dirk is probably the best drummer since Menza, right? So anyway, I was like, okay, I want to do the unboxing and I want to talk about Megadeth a little bit. So this is the last studio record for Megadeth ever. At least that's what they're saying. But at least he has the Mustaine had the wherewithal to say, hey, look, this is our final tour, but it's going to last years. It's probably going to last at least 3 years, which I can respect that. You're just going to stretch it out as long as you can, make your money, whatever. I can respect that. At least you said it and didn't say, this is a farewell tour, and then 2 weeks later you make another show or whatever, you know. Or do, you know, Slayer did the little Weasley language and say, this is our final world tour. And they said, well, we never said we're going to stop touring. We're just going to stop doing world tours and making records. Like, okay. When I saw that it said world tour, I was like, oh, they'll play one-offs here and there. And sure enough, 5 years later, 4 years later, they were back. So who knows what Megadeth will do if Megadeth decides to come to Houston, I will be there. I like the record. I think this is probably the coolest presentation I own as far as vinyl goes. So when I saw this, I was like, if I'm going to buy vinyl, I'm not just going to buy the plain vinyl or whatever. I might as well spend the money and get the real deal, weird looking, filled with some sort of a mystery liquid vinyl. And I'm glad I did. It looks great, and I think the record's good. And I'm sure gonna miss Megadeth when they're gone.